scrounged up my scrap metal, did this to it, and, well, turned it into these sweet pendants. So stay tuned and I'll tell you what I did to make them. All of the steel is 3/4 inch square tubing, and yes, if you've seen my other videos, it is the same stuff I used for my stair railing, my coffee table, my chandelier fixture, because, well, I bought a lot and hey, why not use it? So I was using my chop saw. If you don't have one, well, go pick up a cheap angle grinder with some cutoff discs. And the plus side to an angle grinder is you're already right there, so you can bevel the edges without having to switch tools. Because a majority of those cuts were done with the chop saw, I switched over to my grinder wheel, which made quick work of beveling those edges. And these edges do need beveled prior to welding. Well, they don't need to be, but with a beveled edge like that, it makes welding much easier and cleaner. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between 3 main attachments for the angle grinder. One is the wire wheel that kind of gets off a bunch of the rust, another is a grinder, and a third would be the flapper disc, and that's the one that kind of is the sandpaper on steroids that makes it nice and shiny, pretty, ready for weld, and then also gets it ready for paint as well. I always do a sample weld, and here's why. Listen to this. And now this. Whether you're a seasoned welder or not, you can definitely tell a difference there. Happened to be that my polarity was switched. I was using flux core wire before, and now I'm using MIG welding now. Here's a tool tip. If you were just starting out welding, then pick up a pack of magnets. It's these cool little red thingamabobs that hold everything at 90 degrees or 45 depending on what you're making, and, well, makes boxes really easy and holds everything in place for you. Personally, I like a good looking weld and really would not have ground these down other than the fact that I need to tie in the top and the bottom frame, and to do that I wanted a nice flat surface to weld those members to. Confession time. Up until, well, not too long ago, I actually didn't know that this style of light was called a pendant. I thought it was just a light fixture that you put over your kitchen island. Well, who knew about all these fancy names for lights, right? Well, yeah, now I gotta go look up what a sconce is. Yes, it's important to find the dead center of that, and that's because, well, at least for me, I'm going to be hanging off of one chain and I want it balanced. You don't want it kind of leaning or lopsided at all, so easiest way is to find the center and should be good if all of your other angles were magically right on. I had this rod lying around that had collected some rust, so a very quick and easy way to get rid of that is to chuck it up into the drill, and while holding sandpaper, just run your hand up and down it and cleans it up within a matter of seconds. Finally, onto paint. And after all of that welding, grinding, sanding, all that good stuff, it's gonna be dirty. The best way to clean up metal is with acetone or mineral spirits, and just wipe it on and then wait a couple seconds and it's already dry. For the actual paint, I just used a couple rattle cans. I did do a primer and then about 2 or 3 coats of the final paint. The hardest part with the whole paint thing with this type of fixture is that trying to get into the insides. You'll notice a bunch more gets on the outside, and, well, don't look close because it does create some runs on it, and it just takes a little extra time to clean those up and get it looking perfect. These 2 plates I'm going to be hanging the chain off of that mount up to the ceiling. Now, for brackets, you can easily go to the hardware store and buy some of those and some plates and get it all from there, but in the full spirit of actually doing everything with what I had at my house, I made them from scratch. And so from here on out, I'll be finishing up those, actually mounting the pendants, and well, as a side note, at the end you'll see me mount my chandelier, which, if you've been following me, you'll actually see that I made that in an earlier video last year prior to my home edition. So I've got the kitchen lighting complete now. Couldn't be happier, and that's kind of because we actually have full lights in the kitchen now. I'm happy, my wife's happy, we're just the happiest ever since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. We'll end it with just a couple final shots of how it all turned out. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.